The following is brought to you in part by a grant from the Foundation for White Well-Being. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gulag Café. This week, we took a week off of Empire of Lies heavy pre-scripted content to talk about an absolute hilarious travesty of a video game, Dragon Age Veilguard, or Failguard, as I am proud of myself for saying earlier today. I'm sure I'm not the first person to come up with that, but I spent about 2.5 to 3 hours watching gameplay footage and commentary about this game, and then about another hour reading things people had to say about it. And boy, howdy, let me tell you, this game is a stinker, and consider this a very brief autopsy on what is wrong with this game. But before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that we would deeply appreciate any donations that you send in. Since Gulag Cafe is just me and Chris talking, off the cuff about something that we're interested in, we are not putting off all the paid chats till the end. So, every 5-10 minutes, I'm going to refresh and see if you guys are saying anything. I prefer to get paid chats over on Entropy. You can find that as the pinned comment in all of the live chat. And if you're listening on replay, it'll be the top link in the how to support the channel links. Also, during the course of the stream, you can send in short messages on Cash App and PayPal, as well as send in tips over on Subscribestar, or rants on Rumble and Hyper Chats on Odyssey. And I split all of the proceeds of this stream slot with my friend Chris here 50-50. So if you support me on this stream series, you support him too. We share it all. So, Chris, before we start talking about all this, is there anything you want to preface the stream with before we get rolling?
Welcome, Tovarishi, to another excellent episode of the Gulag Cafe. Tonight we will be discussing how socialism makes all art absolutely excellent and absolutely better. Please be advised, any negative commentary on socialist art may cause Dmitry to give impromptu dentistry session. Any lost teeth will be added to goulash to be served later on, as long as you have ration card. Please take seat, pull up small pile of mud, get yourself a bowl of ashes. We have some rat on stick, and peruse the bountiful cornucopia of socialist art enabled by diversity, equity, and inclusion, the three most important things to Soviet citizen, apart, of course, from keeping your teeth inside of mouth. Chewing on those rat biscuits can be very, very tough, so I would recommend you do not get on the wrong side of Grigory. Thank you very much.
Very good. Corpse Starch Gruel is on the menu tonight.
Yeah, mate. This game is. I mean, okay. I think you have possibly watched more about it than me. I don't know. I like to watch sort of gaming content when I'm trying to turn my brain off. But just
the easy part, honestly, was watching all the cringe cutscenes and dialogue that I watched. The hard part was the actual gameplay. All the gameplay footage I watched was just a boring snooze fest. It was miserable.
Yeah. It was just really.
We'll get into the particulars of it. But is there any piece of the game that you want to start with, or do you just want to go through different topics of conversation about it?
I just want to point out that there is something really uncanny valley about this game, about the cutscenes, right? It's not something like Dustborn where it's animated, where it's sort of like a parody. There is something when I'm watching the cutscenes to this game, I just recoil. I'm just like, oh my god, this is so ugly. And it weirdly enough, it's more ugly than if they actually had like a Lovecraftian horror on, or something, like, you know, like a well done like horror game, I'd be like, ooh, this just sort of makes me just like, ugh, get the fuck away from me.
Let me tell you the topics I want to cover. I want to talk about, apart from all of the ideological, anti-white, anti-male stuff, put all that aside. Put aside the ideology and beliefs and political opinions of the people who made this game. For one segment of tonight's conversation, I want to talk about the merits of the game itself as a video game and why it's absolutely terrible. Number two, I want to talk about why this is such a travesty of a fantasy game, specifically as a follow-up to the Dragon Age games, which after Dragon Age Origins, it was all downhill. But at least they were Dragon Age games. This is not, and I'm going to talk about that too. So those are the main two things I want to talk about why during this autopsy of this game. So what do you want to start with? Do you want to go through the video clips that you have prepared and talk about those first?
Okay, well, I'll just give a bit of an update on
Sure.
on what's happening with the game first. This is this is going to be my in Smolin. This is going to be my new reaction, my new reaction GIF.
Oh, yeah, this one. Oh my god!
I'm gonna send this to Keir Starmer every single time.
This creature is so hideously ugly. I hate her.
It's really hideous. Right. So just but before we go on, I'd just like to salute the demise of Gamers for Harris, in a incredible move that many people were sad to see go. It turns out that Gamers for Harris has in fact shut down. 2024, it's the correct play, ladies and gentlemen. More than 800 creators of your favorite games have a message for you this election season. We support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for president and vice president of the United States, and you hope you join us in Gamers for Harris. Or, you know,
bro, you just posted cringe.
Yeah, so I thought I'd just, you know. So this is the Steam DB chart for Dragon Age, the Veilguard, or the Failguard, as we like to say. This game cost somewhere in the region of $200 million over about 10 years. It was originally going to be an MMO, and then you know, it sort of pivoted, and then the Wokies got their hands all over it. Usually you would be expecting, you know, for like a hit game, you'd be expecting to see like, you know, 1 million players on, you know, its opening bump. It has now been steadily declining to about 30,000 players. That's not, I mean, if you're a small indie studio, those would be good numbers. But for a major AAA studio like BioWare that sunk 10 years and, you know, $200 million into this thing, this is absolutely
and
abysmal.
don't forget the millions of dollars they spent on advertising this game. Like, this game has been pushed everywhere for like, what, a year? Like, I've seen, well, like, I go out of my way to block ads, and I've still heard ads for this game. Like, I see ads for this game when I go looking on websites and stuff. Like, they spent money to advertise this game, let alone the millions of dollars they spent in development. And think about it, $200 million? That's a ridiculous amount of money.
Allegedly, they actually pulled back on the marketing budget a bit because they weren't confident that this thing was going to sell. And boy, howdy, were they right. So concurrent players are down. There's been 30,000 returns. You can only trade it in for $14, which is not really good. Stellar Blade absolutely kicked its ass. Obviously, it's only just crested selling 1 million copies in 2 weeks. Budget is rumored to be 250 to 300 million. Oh my god.
That sounds about right with the development cost plus advertising, because remember, big movies or big games are like big movies. They usually spend 25 to 100% of the budget to make the thing on advertising and marketing. So I assumed it would be something like that.
Yep. So so estimates vary. There have been some leaks from inside BioWare, and BioWare is extremely salty that people are talking about the very, very horrible culture inside BioWare and the gaming industry generally. Mm-hmm. They're saying you'd have to sell between 4 and 7 million copies. They're not going to make that at all. Gamers have rejected the heavy-handed woke, preachy politics and the new horrible graphics, the fact that there's no sort of darkness in the game at all. If you've played any Dragon Age, you know it's dark fantasy.
Yep.
And
but
BioWare
this game is neither. This game is not, and that when we get to the parts I want to discuss, I have a lot to say about how this game fails. Not just because, well, I'll save it. I'll save it. Go ahead.
And BioWare has apparently instituted investigations trying to find out who in their team has been leaking details to gamer journalists, and of course not proper gaming journalists at IGN and Kotaku. Oh no, those filthy people like Grums who just think they're gaming journalists, and for some reason, because they're misinformation, everybody actually goes to for.
Yeah, I saw this too. Why don't you pop these open and show what's actually in the game?
Yeah. So this is in the lore section. This is all about a character named Tash,
which we will get to.
Which is, I mean, the thing is, right? That name, I could just imagine some fucking non-binary mental health case being like, well, my name was Tash, and then I added an extra A, so now it's Tash. Now it's like, oh wow, you're so special. Wow, you really are unique.
Remember, like the old days of Tumblr, that Tosh with 2 A's is a snowflake name. You remember that? Remember the snowflake days?
I was never on Tumblr, so I can't.
No, I mean like in the days of the culture war, back in like the late aughts and early teens, like when snowflake became a meme, calling people that's a snowflake name.
Yeah. So this sort of lore entry reads very, very similarly actually to the Tranifesto from the school shooting in where was that?
Nashville, Tennessee, not far from
Nashville. That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Meeting shadow dragons to talk gender stuff. Okay. Writing notes to work through gender crap. Showing to Rook for help. Maybe the Rook is you. You are the Rook.
Yeah. Which is basically you're a babysitter for these idiots. But I'll get into that later too.
Marveus is pretty, Tarquin is tough, both trans. So there are 3 trans characters in this game. Both open about being trans and said I could share stuff if it helped me on my journey. I did not ask for a journey. Well, you're on one, right? Trans means was another gender, then changed. Wait, no, was always new thing, just now acknowledged. Not changing, affirming. Oh, trans woman is woman. Okay, right.
Like, okay, just stop. We're not making this up. This is a real thing that happens in this game, and it's in a lore document. Like, we're not making this up. Like, this is not something that was like dev notes. This is not something that was unearthed behind the scenes. This is in the game that everyone who bought this game had to read.
Yep. Well, you don't have to read it.
You don't have to read it, but it's what I mean is it's in the game.
Notes, fortunately.
Yeah.
Not feeling right in body is dysphoria. Whole big thing. Could feel like want to be guy instead of girl. No. Could feel like not connected to body. Not everyone does this. Could feel uncomfortable with girls who act more feminine. This is just is this an accurate description of these people's thought process? Because it seems like they just think in these weird bullet points, right? No, I like girls. Girls smell good. but like hanging out with lords more than girls. Ashamed of not doing what your gender should do. Ugh. Getting euphoria is feeling right. Non-binary means not man or woman. Can feel like either. Can look like guy, girl, neither. Some use she, he. Some swap. Some use they. But still single with name. You'll be single for a long time, my dear. Yeah. Flynn is non-binary. They are coming this way. Confusing, but sure. Also gender fluid. Feel different on different days. Can switch pronouns. Don't think that's me. Agender, bigender, demigender, others. Lots of different ones. Not me, but okay. Yes, totally immersing yourself in the dark fantasy environment.
Yeah, because when I think of dark fantasy like Conan, I think of gender warriors on Tumblr. Those two just go together, right?
Does that mean that current year is basically dark fantasy? Now, we are literally in dark fantasy in current year. Now, we have a few clips to play. These are
by the way, Sophia Narwitz here. That's the troon that I told you about, who still does good work. Like again, I don't try to like promote troons anymore, but there are a couple of them that are not like miserably, insufferably anti-white. And Narwitz here is one of the best ones. Narwitz has stuck to his/her guns the whole time and been against all of this, anti-white, anti-male bullshit, and been on our side of things on Gamergate since the beginning. So Narwitz is okay for a Troom. So keep that in mind.
I don't have a problem with right-wing trannies, honestly. Like, I just, like if you're on our side,
I still think that we should downplay anyone who takes on that label, because transgenderism is just one of the tentacles of anti-whiteism. So I don't like to promote or uptalk people, but I knew Sophia from way back in the day, just online, not like personally or anything, but So I like to give credit where credit's due. Old Narwitz here does good work, does good games journalism, and has been on our side of the culture war since the beginning. So, I give credit where credit's due.
Okay, so one of the sort of weird things about, it's not really weird, about Veilguard as opposed to, well, I've only played Inquisition. I haven't played Origins. So
you're missing out. Like I have watched gameplay from the other games. They're nowhere near as good as the original.
Well, look, Inquisition was pretty good. I really enjoyed the character interactions. It had a lot of choice. It was good. But this is the thing. This game is very much 2024 woman simulator. Yes. You can tell that the writing team are all female, because there's no real like proper harsh dark fantasy element. This of course is the domain of men. Women did not. And write
also,
Warhammer
you can't ever be mean to anyone.
Yes.
You have no agency as the player to actually make any decisions that anyone that you can interact with will not like, except, of course, the bad people. And who are the bad people?
White men, specifically.
White men.
Yes.
Yeah, you can be mean to them because the scant handful of white men in the game are either ponces that are just sort of like placeholders or the villains of the game. Nobody else is a white man in the game.
And you basically spend a lot of time essentially being an HR manager, the sort of the dream job of these kinds of women, going around sorting out minor disagreements with your party. I would rather have my testicles flayed, personally. So let's play this, shall we? And we can comment and laugh along. Please feel free to post disparaging comments in the chat. So this is the wait, which one is this? Hang on. This is sorry, I should have
this is what I was talking about earlier about having to be a babysitter, because you can't be mean. You can never disagree with the people that you have to, with your party members and the people you have to interact with. You can never call them out on their dumb shit. You're never allowed to say any ugly things to them. And no matter what dialogue choice you choose, it all works in facilitating and feeding in to their childish needs and demands. Like, it's not really role-playing. It's like, what version of Yes Please do you want to pick? Now shut up and let me tell you the story and preach to you more. That's all this game is.
If you had player choice, you might do something bad, right? I mean, you might kill off like an NPC that you didn't like. Of course, you're not allowed to do that.
So yeah, this is very much anti-white shit-lib woman world that like the whole game.
So this is the Companions Are Babies clip. If you could spin that up. Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to play it right here. Oh wait, that's right.
No. It's just in my, but we got to play it through yours because I don't think the audio is going to work otherwise.
Transgenders are, or wait, you sent me 4. I have trash comes out to mother, doing a barv, companions or babies. Is it companions or babies? Okay, all right. All right, give me just a second. I have it loaded now, and I'll embiggen. All right, tell me when to pause.
Okay.
We could use a second sober voice.
I'm not drunk. You're drunk.
It's a figure of speech.
Huh. I was wondering when this would happen.
I don't follow.
You two didn't seem to be bonding.
I need one of these little needle things to dig some crap out of my armor. Death Mage won't give me one.
First, a bone threader is an extremely delicate instrument. Second, it's Emmerich. Tash, my name is Emmerich, not Death Mage, not Corpse Guy, not... I won't repeat the rest.
What? You are a death mage.
Why are all my attempts to converse with you met with scorn? What have I done to you, Tash?
You talk about corpses too much.
It's a rich topic.
No, corpses are messed up. They used to have people in them. You make a move like they're alive, but they smell wrong and they move wrong, and none of it is okay.
Oh.
Oh, his voice
Especially
acting is
the
so
ones
bad.
with skin still on them.
Oh.
So what I'm hearing is Tosh isn't into terrifying dark magic.
It's not all terrifying.
And Emmerich would appreciate not being bullied and called names.
Ugh. Fine.
I'd no idea necromancy upset you so deeply, Tosh. Quite honestly, I didn't think you feared anything.
I don't. But I could have said it was bugging me. I didn't think you cared what I thought.
Of course I do. We're colleagues on this journey.
Okay. Sorry I called you a liker. Skull liker.
Maybe you two can find different things to talk about around each other.
I'll try not to press on the subject of necromancy when we travel together, Tosh.
Okay. Thanks. It's fine if I ask about it first.
In that vein, could we avoid any dragon trivia?
What?
Oh, I
Who
think we
doesn't
can cut
like
it there.
dragons?
Pause.
There's lots of
All right.
Oh my god, it's cancer.
So-
I can feel myself getting cancer.
Yes.
Just the voice acting is bloody terrible. Like it's not that the actors are not competent, right? It's just
It's that they
there's-
have bad direction and they're reading terribly written dialogue.
yes, and there's just no feeling, right? There's
Right.
no intensity,
Because
right?
you can tell that the voice actresses doing Tash and the Rook, Tosh or Trash or whatever, and the voice actor doing Emmerich here, you can tell that they're just using their natural voices. They're not being directed to do a character. They're not being told the emotions. They're not even in the same room. Like a big part of having quality voice acting is having good direction, saying, okay, this is the character that you are. This is what you're supposed to convey in this setting. Like, you're a peasant from 1300s, or, you're a brilliant English inventor of a make-believe Victorian setting on a magic sky ship. So speak with that kind of panache. And you can tell that everything other than the preachy, anti-white, shit-lib woman rhetoric was just an afterthought, and no one cared. No one that made this thought about making it an actual good product at all. And it's very evident.
Ardent Party says, the voice actor for Emily is good. I agree. He clearly has talent. It's just
No,
there's no
all of these
direction
voice actors are professional voice actors. They're not bad. Like they hired top tier or middle to top tier voice talent. The problem is terrible dialogue, no direction. They're not in the same room together playing off of each other. And if they were just told to use their normal voices and they just put them in a room and said, okay, read the lines. We're going to record it. Like,
Yep.
Like these people it's like they're real human beings that you and I would know sitting at a cafe or a bar having a conversation with their normal voices. The cadence, their word choices, nothing about this says fantasy world or make-believe to me. This is like a miserable babysit conversation you would expect a professor to have with shit-lib idiots at a university trying to make them get along.
Yeah, when I saw this, the vibe I got was of trying to calm down like a couple of 6-year-olds. Or something, now apologize, make up. Like it's just, like who talks like that? Well, HR ladies, obviously, talk like that. So shall we go to the next clip? This
Sure.
is the
Tell me which one's next.
pulling a barv.
Oh God.
This is the infamous clip.
Yeah. This one. This one is the first thing that I saw of the game that made me get uncanny valley feelings of, what the hell am I even watching? Like, it's almost like a meme video that isn't done yet. Like, it's almost like a joke or a parody of a game that isn't finished yet. It's weird. So anyway, let's
so uncanny valley.
Let's fire this up. And we're going to watch most of this. It's about 3 minutes, but it is so cringe and so bizarre. Here we go.
Best part is, while Tash is pounding that snake's nose, she's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties, I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
What are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh, okay.
a barb?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crew's not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a Barv. Oh, there we go.
Any reason you can't just apologize?
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with. Trust me, I know. But pulling a barb, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic.
Can we
They
pause
make
it for a
about
bit?
them.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Just this, like this character has the worst case of trans face,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's like half the characters in this game.
Yeah, it just like I remember watching this and just being like, oh my, like that doesn't look like a woman. at
No,
all.
like the problem in this game is you know how the anti-whites are when it comes to creating games like this. They want women to be manly and ugly and men to be either white guy villain caricatures or non-white men ideal perfect guy, or they want them to be like panty waist loser nonces. Like those are the three representations of male characters you get in this game. All the femoids in this game are like these weird half like, I don't even want to say intersex. That's an insult to intersex people. It's
Yeah,
like
they've got the-
it's like you take a woman and try to make it masculine in like ugly ways, but then try to put pretty clothes on it and like try to make it feminine again. Like the characters in this game are hideously ugly and weird.
Yeah, they've got the gamer, the diversity man jaw. It's just so, I just like brother just, what is that? I can't. Is there more? Oh, you can you keep? Should we keep
Yeah,
playing?
of course.
So I mean,
Yeah,
just basically, right? She in case anyone didn't catch it, she misgendered.
Yeah,
Tosh.
trash.
And
Call it trash.
there's a very interesting dynamic here going on that I suspect that at least some of this game is a bit of malicious compliance, because
Yeah.
the way this character is actually portrayed, right, is she's incredibly annoying and just like a massive pain in the ass all the time. And
Yeah.
I can't help think that, I mean, either the writers were too stupid to realize this, which is a possibility, or
I
some
think
other
that's
people
possible.
were like, oh yeah, that that'll be great. Just do that. You know what I mean? Like it's insane. Okay, so yeah, finish it off.
We'll finish this horrible clip.
No, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Oh, okay. Yes, some people might do that.
Pulling a barb puts it on the person who screwed up. They made the mess, they fix it, done.
Oh, I'm glad the Lords of Fortune have Tasha's back.
Oh, Tash isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Really?
It was a little before your time, but Horlicks was one of ours.
Huh.
Bastard looked better than I did in a dress or pants. And out of them, too.
Isabella's apology work for you, Tosh?
Yeah. Just, I didn't expect the Lords to care about the stuff. Me being non-binary.
Kirkwall taught me about family. If it matters to you, it matters to me. I mean, to the Lords.
Oh. Thanks.
Anyway, where was I? So, there Tash is, thigh-deep in a snake's maw and still holding the giant ruby in one hand. I yelled that we'll get them out of there, and Tash just yells back, "Get up its ass! I'll meet you in the middle!"
Okay, the stomach, I get, but did it really have?
Hey, who ate the last breaded cheese wand?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I guess I thought, well, I don't know what.
It's fine.
No, they're your favorite.
Oh, God.
Bellara, I know you're sorry.
Everyone in this
but
game is
you
so
did mess
ugly.
up.
I know.
And what do we do when we mess up?
Yes, you're right.
We take physical
I'm pulling
punishment.
a barb.
Oh, God.
1, 2, 3.
Heart's
All right.
in the right place. Form's a little sloppy, though.
All right, there we go.
Oh my
So,
God. Do you think that like they're going to try and implement this right at gaming companies? You know, you accidentally misgender your colleague. It's 10
Hey,
push-ups, right?
again, like this is what I said earlier. Look at this comment somebody just made. Where is it? Here we go. This is it. Beyond parity level. Yeah, like I said, it's like someone is using I don't know like what program it is where you can take mesh models from video games, put them into like a blender or whatever. I don't know, whatever that program is where you can like make meme videos with video game characters. It's like someone was doing that, but like didn't add music or like make the jump cuts to make it funny. Because you watch this, like when I first saw this, I was like, did the creators of this want it to come off like someone making fun of feminist cringe?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's what it seems like.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
not.
Well, I mean, but this is probably the end result of, you know, having to, I mean, it just fills me with horror. You know, imagine having to, you know, constantly walk on glass around these like people, you know, just constantly aggressive, just looking out for any slight. What was it that Stumbling said? How to terrorize your quote friends.
Yeah.
it's literally that. It's the most creepy thing. But the cringe is not over, bros.
No. The cringe must flow. So
No.
which clip is next?
The Tosh sex scene.
Oh God. Okay.
Chat.
This
I want to hear from the chat. When was the last time you attempted to
Your fingers are just perfect.
initiate you know, sexual contact with someone using this method? It's just, oh my God.
This is miserable. This is miserable, but it's a short clip. It's only like 20 seconds, so don't worry. Here we go.
Your fingers are just perfect.
Yeah. So, are you trying to have sex with me?
Oh, wow. In my daydreams, this is where you lean over me and slap the wall.
Quick, think about us having sex.
There you go.
That's the
There
show.
you
Oh my
go.
God, that face.
No, I had to close it. It is it's puke
Oh, it's
inducing.
nightmare.
It's vomit inducing. I can't
So
do
okay,
it.
so the longer version, right, is she's like, now we just have to figure out what kind of sex we're about to have.
Yeah, I'm not playing the rest of it. It gets graphic, but no, it's like you can tell that even the manly men in this game, they make sexually submissive to the nasty, ugly, masculine women.
Yeah.
Like every single sex option, every romance option, it leads to the same place. It's disgusting. Like this game is like this is why the 19th Amendment was a mistake. This game is why the 19th was a mistake.
Oh my God, yeah, I just remember seeing that, just like my flesh, like oh my God, you just imagine some like creepy tranny trying to come onto you at work, and you can't.
Oh
say
my God,
because you're gonna lose your job, right? And you just gotta sit there and just pretend like you're interested, because you're worried if you reject this crazy psycho, they'll go to HR and say that you tried to like touch them up or something, right? Ironically, right, this is actually very similar to a plot line in Darkness at Noon, which is an excellent book about the communist USSR, and it's basically about this guy who was like a high up functionary in the USSR administration, and at one point he decides that he's
Jason.
So at one point,
with a hand bigger than yours. That's what made me laugh.
at one point in this book, right, the guy he decides he's going to sleep with his secretary, right, and so he just goes up and just puts his hand on her, and she just says nothing because she can't say nothing, right, because she's worried if she says anything and rejects him, she might go to the Gulag. So they just have this weird kind of like sort of, well, not really a relationship, basically, because of course she can't say no because she's terrified. It's that same kind of energy. It's creepy.
And I'd like to point out, by the way, BioWare, the people that make the writing choices and the character choices, this is not new. And to back up what we say on this channel a lot, this so-called quote woke stuff and DEI, all this anti-male, anti-white shit has been going on a long time. If you go back to the beginning of what made BioWare become popular, the first KOTOR game, they wanted, like the people that do the writing and the character choices, they wanted there to be bisexuality and lesbianism. They wanted all of the romance options to be bisexual and homosexual available. These people have been around for 100 years trying to push this anti-white sexual pause into everything. Marxists wrote about this in the early 1900s. People wrote about it in first and second wave feminism shit. Like, and BioWare, a lot of the people that are key members of BioWare who have made good games, I would like to point out, they have made good games with good writing and decent characters, but they have always wanted to put this poison in. This is not new. This is not something recent. It's just because of how bad things have gotten and the more anti-whites take power and push away our norms, the easier it is for them to get their way. And this is what they want, is this garbage right here.
Look,
and
I'm willing to overlook hot chicks being gay, right? I am totally, as a red-blooded male, I am totally willing to overlook that. But they've got to be pretty, right? like I do not want to see two man-jaw trannies making out. Thanks. I'll just that's a hard pass.
Hard pass. Pun intended. All right.
No. Okay, so the last one is so just a bit of background. Tasha's character arc basically is that she is non-binary. What a surprise, right?
So
and
I'm non-binary.
And she comes out to her mother in front of you at this very awkward dinner party scene.
Again, this is a good clip to back up what I said earlier about how you are playing a female college student babysitter simulation when you play Failguard, because you have to hold your companion's hands and help them with their stupid interpersonal conflicts that 19-year-old girls at college would have. And every single companion is like this except Emmerich. And his is just sort of a wet fart nothing burger that nobody cared about. So all of the other companions have these horrible college girl written by women Twilight series problems that you have to hold their hands and help them with. And the worst character is this trash character, the stupid non-binary one. And the clip we're about to show, do you have any more preface for it? Or you just want me to let it roll?
I remember watching this and just being like, oh my God. This in real life, this would just be so uncomfortable. You just just play it. I'm speechless.
Okay, all right. Oh, I forgot to embiggen. Give me a second. There we go.
So I'm non-binary.
What does that mean?
It means I don't feel like a man or a woman.
If you are neither a man nor a woman, then what are you?
Non-binary. I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on.
If this is because I have criticized your dress or your manners...
It isn't!
Under the Cune, the term for one whose gender does not match the one given to them at birth was a cuniflock. Perhaps you are like that.
Why do you have to keep picking at it? Why can't you just be happy for me?
Evitash, chakra to ebra.
So I'm supposed to struggle with who I am? Even if I don't feel like I fit, even if I feel wrong?
No, you misunderstood.
Then say it better! Why am I never enough for you?
I will go. Thank you for inviting me to your home. Panahedan.
Tosh, I'm so sorry.
No. It's okay.
Tosh?
I'm not hiding anymore. How she takes it is her problem.
You sure?
Yeah. Come on. Don't let food go to waste.
And that's that. So
That physically hurts. I just
now I must
watched so
show
much
this
cringe.
comment. I must show this comment. Michelle
Yeah.
Obama. Yeah, of course. So go ahead and you talk about this, and I'll see if we have any paid chats yet.
I've watched so much cringe in my streaming career, and that just I don't know, mate. It hits different. There is just something so
It is
incredibly
super cringe.
viscerally like nuclear cringe, right? Like, you know, they made like an isolated laboratory somewhere for like cringe warfare research, right? And after like 4 years, the scientists came out and they're like, we have developed a cringe so deadly that it can like make people's skin crawl at like 100 meters. And the military generals are like, yes, we will win the war with cringe.
I don't know why entropy stopped, guys. I'm sorry. It just logs me out sometimes, and it did that again. I'm sorry. So if you sent stuff on entropy, I'll have to look into my account tab and figure it out. But entropy's up again. All right.
Just yeah. So I mean, you know, basically, I mean, behaving like a 13-year-old girl. You know, oh, why am I not enough for you? Blah 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 blah. I can't believe. I mean, I can believe this is the state of modern
course.
gaming. The question.
Every industry has been white erased. Every industry has been male erased. Everything is just this disgusting, this takeover of people who hate everything real and natural. And it's just, and it's evident. Look at this. Now is a good time for us to transition to me talking about why this game is terrible and the effluvia of the game industry that has led to this. So, like I prefaced earlier in the stream, take all this anti-white, anti-male garbage aside. All the soy-faced losers and the blue-haired shit-lib ladies and all these people, take all them off the table, and let's just talk about the game itself. I'm not going to show you gameplay footage because the gameplay footage is just boring, but it's competently crafted, right? The gameplay is smooth. It's not buggy. Everything is bright and colorful and beautiful. There's plenty of pop-ups. The menus all work well. Here's the problem. The game sucks. What you do in the first loop of the game for the first hour or two you play, 15 or 16 hours later, because this game is way too long, you're doing the same thing at the end. You start the game with the basic same powers and abilities to defeat things that you end with. There aren't many character arcs besides helping people with their stupid schoolgirl problems. You're doing the same fetch quests. You're clicking on the same levers and buttons to lower bridges and unlock barriers. You're fighting the same handful of enemies who all look different, but it's fast little enemies, humanoid enemies with bows or swords, and big enemies that hit hard that you have to move around. There's like 50 different kinds of those, but really only 3 different kinds of enemies. That's it. And it's the same boring play loop with no thought put into the craftsmanship of what gameplay actually should be in an enjoyable fantasy mix of action CRPG stuff, right? Number 2, all the companion quests, which, for those of you that don't know, Dragon Age and a lot of fantasy role-playing games that have been popular for the last 20, 25 years, a big part of what makes the game fun is you have well-written companions. And you get to explore the companions. You help them on their spirit journey. You help them become a powerful demon binder because they were afflicted by being possessed when they were young. So they have this gift to control demons and evil spirits. And you have to help them come to terms with how to best that darkness in them so you can utilize it to beat the bad guys. Stuff like that. And they have interesting revelations. They have character arcs. And helping them leads you to interesting dungeons or to fight cool monsters. This game doesn't have any of that. Every single companion quest, you know what it is? You listen to them preach at you with anti-white feminist garbage for between 5 and 20 minutes while you walk around and do something pointless like pick up shells off the ground or help file books in a library. And every companion quest is like this. There's no character arc or character growth. The characters that you meet are the same spoiled, self-righteous college girls Every single one of them except Emmerich, he's all right. And the warrior guy, I can't remember his name because he's just an empty space holder nothing burger. But it's just garbage game. It's garbage storytelling. No interesting arcs or story at all. And the people who care about the Dragon Age franchise are let down because the villain guy, I forget what his name is, he's there at the first of the game, but he doesn't really matter much until towards the end of the game. And the game doesn't have beats. Like, to tell a good story, to play an RPG, it needs to have beats like a good movie. A good movie has a down, it has an up, it has a climax, it has 3 acts. This game has none of that. This game is you do the same boring garbage hour after hour after hour, collecting hundreds of collectibles from around the game to get points at vendors with different factions, like it's an MMO. Like, early in its development, they wanted it to be an MMO, and it's like when they decided it wasn't going to be, they didn't change how the game was structured. So as a single player game, you're having to do hours of boring fetch quests and grind to go get boring, stupid materials to exchange to vendors just to unlock things that you can purchase for your characters, cosmetics and weapon upgrades. So it's like, it's just hours of busy work that you would expect from World of Warcraft in your single player RPG game. And that's all the gameplay there is, besides boring, mindless, easy combat. That's nothing like the original or the previous Dragon Age games. So if you like video games, take all of this anti-white, anti-male shit aside. This is a $200 million boring phone game. That's what this game feels like. It looks nice, but it doesn't look like dark fantasy. It plays smooth, but it doesn't play like a Dragon Age game. It has writing, but it doesn't feel like a written story. It's presented like a big AAA movie, but it's as boring as a 3-minute trailer that tells you nothing. Like, this game is an abject failure of a game in every way, taking away all the mind poison shit. It is an absolutely terrible game. And you might ask yourself, well, why did it end up this way? If it was in development for 8 or 10 years, if people spent $200 million on it, how could it possibly be this bad? White erasure and male erasure, competency crisis across all fields, and most importantly, it's completely ran by thoughtless, selfish, self-righteous feminist women. That's like the majority of people who had a hand in writing and crafting this game. And they just had their little circle jerk for years and years. These women who no doubt love 50 Shades of Grey and the Twilight books, they're the ones who made this game what it is. And because of the industry is white erased and male erased, there was no one present in the industry, in the entire studio, to tell them, no, this is bad. We can't do this or we'll lose money. If we post this, it's cringe. We will lose subscriber. That process never happened.
This is another thing that I've noticed with modern games. So my wife was really into Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one, right, which was reasonably good. And then the second one,
it's actually a good game, yeah.
Yeah, and then the second one came out, and the wokies had gotten into it, right? And the thing about the character is that she's basically perfect, right? So there can be no character development, right? Because she can't make any really big mistakes because she's already perfect. She basically walks around like a god on the earth. Apparently there's this one part where she just like rocks into a random village and then decides to open the jail and like release a bunch of criminals for reasons. And there's no repercussions. She never does anything wrong. So she can't grow as a character. And this is the problem with these, people that are these characters that are basically already perfect. I mean, you could say that, Tash is going on a sort of journey, but she's not really, right? She's basically just decided where she is, and her whole journey is just browbeating everyone else to accept her. A real journey would be making mistakes, feeling regret, growing as a person, and there's just none of that. And this, this is a big thing that you're seeing. And I think, again, this comes back to the women writing kind of thing, not to put too fine a point on it, but with a few rare exceptions, like Ursula K. Le Guin, women do not make good sci-fi or fantasy writers.
Very rarely do they, and the exception proves the rule with good female science fiction fantasy writers. There are a scant few of them across history.
Yep, Dragonlance was good. I think one of the team in that,
Margaret Weiss.
Margaret White, yeah. But yes,
generally... and the Frankenstein lady, Mary Shelley.
Well, she mainly wrote that with Shelley the poet.
I didn't know that. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Then
so
never mind.
yeah, she was Shelley Bryce Shelley wife briefly.
Okay.
You know.
Well, those are the only two names that came to mind, and if one of them's not credible, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no. Look, there's always Ursula K. Le Guin. You know, she's great, but again, the exception proves the rule, and you can see that whoever
Yeah,
wrote
I
this,
never heard Mary Shelley was a plagiarist, guys. I didn't know that.
No.
I
It's
did
not.
know
It's
that.
not that she's a plagiarist. It's just that she was married to Shelley, the poet.
The poet.
So there is a lot of speculation that he helped her with Frankenstein because the rest of her writing is. I mean, have you ever heard of another book that was written by her?
No, but I don't read old stuff. I mostly just read newer stuff.
Yeah.
I think the oldest sci-fi I've read was First and Last Men by Olaf Stapleton from I think the 50s or something like that. A really dense, weird book. I highly recommend. It's bizarre.
There's so much great sci-fi. But this is the thing as well. There's no really dark elements. There's no. I mean, and this is the thing. The original plot was supposed to be that you go around and chase after Solus, who is like an elf. Who was actually your friend in Dragon Age Inquisition, who turns out to be the big bad, and it's a big sort of like plot reveal. And instead, they basically just have two generic evil things. Why are they evil? Well, because they're evil, right? Like there's no motivation. It's just bad writing.
Before we run out of time, the other thing I wanted to talk about is how this is supposed to be dark fantasy, and it's supposed to be in the Dragon Age series. It's neither, and it fails in every way to be either of those things. Because first of all, it's not fucking dark. Even the places in the game that should be dark are brightly lit with bright glowing things with pretty colors. Like the whole game is like you imagine it's like a bright, vivid dream of a happy paradise planet. Like that's what the whole game looks like. It's like you're running around this beautiful, wonderful fairy tale land. It's not dark fantasy at all. And you can't make harsh decisions. You're not allowed to be mean to people. You can't tell people to get bent and get out of your party. You can't tell people in your party they're wrong. You can't really do anything. Like, you can't make hard choices like, do I have to sacrifice this person and let them die? Or do I keep this person alive because I need them? But by doing so, this entire family gets sold into slavery to this evil lord. You don't have to make any hard, dark choices like that in this game. At least not that I could find in the 3 hours of research I did. Also, when it comes to being a Dragon Age game, like Chris brought up, in the Dragon Age game, there's intrigue. There are real problems you have to face. But in this, it's like you have like this very childish, dumbed down, like first and second Harry Potter book type of storytelling, where it's like, oh, it's magic and fantasy, and I'm going to be a hero and do the good thing. Oh, we did it. We win. Yay. And that's it. Like, it's like a childish fairy tale story. It has nothing to do with dark fantasy or Dragon Age. It's terrible in those two counts.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Do we have any super chats?
Yeah, we have a few. Over on Rumble, we have a $1 from Ardent Party. Says, no wonder birth rates are dropping with writers who think this is good dialogue. Well, I mean, keep in mind, the writers who make this are probably childless cat ladies or who just love to murder their own children. Going back to why the 19th was a mistake. Let's see. We also have over on Cash App, we have Jason Kuna, the No White Guilt guy. Howdy, brother. Glad to see you in the chat. For $6, he says, love these games. Lol. Wow. Folk Tithe and Kip. Yeah, this is really something. This is fucking something, this game. Let's see if we have anything else. Let me check the other sites. Nothing on PayPal showing up. I will refresh PayPal just to make sure. Over on Entropy, nothing showing up on Entropy either. So it looks like we are in the clear. So is there anything else that you would like to talk about with this game before we say our goodbyes and get out of here?
I just hope that this is the peak of this phenomenon. I can't keep thinking it can't get any worse, and it does. But on the other hand, these games have been in development for a long time. So in a sense, we are actually seeing the outcome of projects that were started during the whole BLM thing. So hopefully the stuff that was initiated afterwards has moved on, or maybe we've only got like another year of this kind of like horror. I highly suspect that projects that are being initiated now would stay away from this kind of stuff. But then again, there's sort of institutional capture. But the amounts of money being lost are truly huge, and companies may indeed go under. Look at Ubisoft, for example. So it's going to be interesting to see whether we can actually get some decent games. Which is
I think we will. Like, remember, the things that we have done, the things that thousands upon thousands of us frogs have been pushing for, it matters. And remember, even the non-frogs, people that aren't jacked into this culture war stuff like we have been for years, regular people have noticed things and they're sick of it. And a lot of these people who have pushed this kind of rhetoric for years, they're childless. They require the hostile spread of meme pathogens to propagate this into the future. And this is why I big up the go free method all the time. If we stop that mind cancer, we stop them from propagating and it will die out. That's a good thing. So this is why I think that all of this boil the frog too quickly shit, it really has mattered. Like when you talk to regular people now, like regular people around here where I live, where they're just, right-wing libertarians, don't want to care about nothing. Even they around here talk about how this anti-white garbage is on every TV and every commercial and shit. So like regular people are sick of this too. And I don't see this stuff lasting, because the people who push and want this are slowly losing power and they're losing cultural relevance. And as long as we keep pushing, I think that we will win our culture back. That's what I think. So I'm white pilled about big picture stuff. I think we're winning. So just keep heart, keep pushing, call this anti-white, anti-male trash that it is to anyone who you talk to about it. Use the right words, speak with conviction, and spread the curative, the meme curatives, spread the curative contagion to this cancer, and it will go away. It will go away.
Yep. Well, it's time to put the work away and, get to warring with Iran. So, I mean,
that's a different conversation, but no, we'll see how that goes in the next 4 years. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you all being here. Thank you for the dollars that you share. And please share my streams around. Help me grow. I grow almost not at all on YouTube. In fact, I'm shrinking. I've been losing subscribers the last few months, but that's because it was a big election year, and that's usually how they do me. So it does help me grow. And of course, follow Newsfist on his channels. He has a wonderful bi-weekly show where he covers the news called The Happening. I'm there pretty much every time. So just, help us grow by sharing our links. Invite your friends and family to watch our content. That means a lot. Thank you very much, guys. And
we'll be back. I'll write an actual script for next week. I think I'm sufficiently recovered from all the election stuff. So
we'll give you guys some good high quality Autismo content next Thursday.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everyone.
And have a great weekend, everybody. And remember, keep heart and speak the truth. This empire of lies will not last forever. We will win.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.